Thank you, James, Mr. Toastmaster. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. Toastmasters wants us to challenge members to develop their impromptu communication skills, to effectively think on their feet by answering unrehearsed questions. We also want to give every member the opportunity to speak at each meeting. We do this with table topics. Table topics is specially designed to develop four essential communication skills: listening, thinking, organizing, and speaking. Your response tonight must be at least 1 minute, and you can be no more than 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Those who speak within time qualifies for a Best Table Topics Awards. As I conduct the table topics, I will ask the question first and then I will call on someone to respond. I went ahead and removed all functionary speakers from the list. I have my helper on the side of me here who will choose some pre-assigned numbers with names on it. So without further ado, I would like to have him pick one of the numbers now. I will first call on Uchi. Are you there?
I'm here. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Oh,
Hello, everybody. Hi, one buddy.
I
How are you?
know. Oh, excuse me. I need to speak. Oh, sorry about that. Yes, sorry. So,
Hi, Uchi. Your
hi.
table topics question number one. As we don't see you on camera, I cannot ask you about your hat. So I will change the topic into if you had to teach something, what would you teach and why?
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for that question. My response to that question will be, so if I had to teach something, I would teach chemistry. Or basically, if I don't want to go with any particular subject, I will say I'll teach anything that has calculations in it. So I'm someone that likes working with numbers. I like to punch my numbers and I have a way of explaining it to anyone. So you come to me with a problem, with a question, you can be sure that I would help you solve it in more often than not. So I think I have that inclination to loving numbers and also teaching it. I've actually always been a teacher and I love to teach, so it's not a problem at all. So again, to your question, if I have to teach something, it's gonna be any problem solving question, say math, physics, chemistry, anything that has numbers in it, because I have a passion for doing that. So and that's pretty much my interest and I love doing that. Yeah, I think that's all I have. Yeah, I can hear you. Are you speaking?
Thank you, Uchi. Thank you so much. I gave you the correct question as you're already a teacher and teaching chemistry and calculations. Wow. I like teaching myself, but not chemistry. Next, we'll pick a next number, a next ticket. Bennett. Can I hear from Mr. Bennett? How are you? Okay.
I think you're saying Benet. That's me.
Benet. I apologize. Benet.
No worries.
Thank you. What, oh no, what small act of kindness were you once shown that you'll never forget? What small act of kindness you were once shown that you will never forget?
What small act of kindness, and I didn't get that word in there, that I would never forget.
You were once shown, somebody gave you a small act of kindness that you will never forget.
Okay. Well, I had a recent experience with a small act of kindness that I believe I would never forget, and it just happened. And it happened this past year. With COVID 19, I had just received an offer for a job, and I worked for a whole month at that job until COVID 19 hit. When COVID 19 hit, they had to furlough me. That was in April. So from April until September, August was before I found out that I was without a job, and I was on government assistance with the unemployment checks and help from what Trump did. Got some checks on that, so that was pretty good. But the small act of kindness throughout this whole process was that my coworker, my colleague, my mentor, Jeremy Callahan, kept in communication with me throughout that process. It was an odd situation because I had never been furloughed before. And so furloughed was I was still part of the company, but I wasn't getting a paycheck. And since I wasn't getting a paycheck, I didn't have any of the email, I didn't have any access to into the company, but I was still part of the company. So it was an odd situation. But Jeremy, as my colleague and my mentor through that 1 month, kept in contact with me throughout that time. Yeah, you might think that, was that really a small act of kindness? But if you've ever been furloughed or maybe uh, without a job, having that link to somebody that could give you peace of mind throughout that process is something that really had an immense impact on me and gave me comfort throughout those 4 months. And not only was it Jeremy Callahan who was my mentor, it was also the COO, Julie Scaff. Throughout this time, she also kept in contact with me. To me, that was a small act of kindness because in most other experiences that I've had, they totally shut down. So I just want to say that that was a very good experience. Thank you. Now, is this red background, was that a mark that tells me that I was overdue?
Yes, sir. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
thanks.
Thank you so much for your response. Being part of the whole COVID situation and being followed, we are going through a lot, everyone worldwide.
Mhm.
Next, I'd like to call on one. I believe I probably have time for one or two more. My assistant will tell me who my next table topics person is.
Melissa.
And we have Melissa. Melissa, what inspired your choice of hat for today's meeting? What inspired your choice of hat for today's meeting?
Thank you, Table Topics Master. Today, my choice of hat was inspired by a last minute panic to be able to join Toastmasters Club meeting with a hat. So I gathered what I had available literally within the last 5 minutes of the meeting. I got my hat, got me a little shower cap, and luckily my daughter and I, we had started working on excuse me, decorating our patio. So we had already cut some bats. We had some pre-cut bats, and we had these eyes that were also extra that were left over. I grabbed some tape, I put them on there, and voila. But the greatest thing, one of the greatest things is that these were already hung on the door. They were already on the patio door. They were already our it was decorated. And an unfortunate event is that the wind actually pulled all of our decorations off and they were all on the floor. So to my luck and to my surprise, I was able to use some of these items that fell, which we'll have to redo and put them back on the door. But I was able to use them for today's Halloween hat costume. Boogie boogie. Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa. Perfect. And it was all in fun doing it, putting it together. Unfortunately, I got mine at the dollar store. Thank you. Time for one more question. And who will it be?
Suzanne.
Hi, Susan. I'm going to give you a storyline part of a question. Your doorbell rings. You open the door and see a parcel with a tag, "Open me." You open the lid and your doorbell rings. You open the door and see a parcel with a tag that says "Open me." You open the lid and you continue with a story.
And I said, how stupid am I? Because I taught my kids never to open anything that says "open me." Because I was thinking, wow, I need to correct my way of teaching kids, because this is not the idea that I'm going to write down and teach my kids. So I am going to write down a correction of these teaching tools here. Next time, don't even answer the door when the door is ringing. Because these days you never know who is knocking at your door. So, Madam Table Topic Master, I will not open. I will not open any parcels, any doors. So if you're going to try to find me during the day, call me. Don't ring my doorbell. Don't put a parcel in front of my door. Just call me.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Susan. When he told me that he was selecting you and that was the question coming up, I expected that answer. A true story. I received a knock on the door recently and I didn't open it because I said, "Hello, who it is, nothing in the camera." Then I got a text that said, "Open your door, you have a surprise." I wasn't opening it either because the person wasn't saved on my phone. So I was like, "What in the world?" So I called my daughter. She said, "I didn't send anything." So then about an hour later, I got a phone call from one of my area directors was trying to surprise me with a get well flower or plant, and it was sitting out there because I wasn't opening the door, I wasn't opening a package. And she sent me a text to tell me open my door. I was like, okay. So I would have done the same thing, not open it. Thank you, Susan. Mr. Toastmaster, do we have time for any more?
I think we can fit in one more story.
One more. You tell me, just give me one. Ruth. Hi, Ruth. Yes or no?
Sure.
Last question on my list. Which causes you to listen to the most annoying song ever in your head forever? What song would it be and why?
If I were to have to listen to the most annoying song ever in my head forever, what would it be and why? Well, just recently, we all have Alexa at our house everywhere. I have multiple in mine, thanks to my father put them there. My husband and I share a home office. And I came upstairs the other day and he's listening to Bop by Hanson. I don't know if anybody remembers that song, but that song is the most obnoxious, annoying song. It's a bunch of little teeny bopper boys going bop, bop, bop. I had that song in my head for a week and it just would not go away. So if that's an annoying song that I would like to listen to every day, probably not, but I have listened to it for the last week. And I really hope I can change my husband's taste in music. I have no idea why he was listening to that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Melissa. I'm Ruth. I'm laughing so much. I mixed up names. And that will bring us to the end of our table topics. Miss Madam Timer, did everyone qualify?
Yes, everybody qualified.
Thank you. Can we have 1 minute on the clock while we set up for our poll? Please take this time to select your vote. Speaker, Number one was Uchi, wanting to teach chemistry or calculations. Number two was Bene, that he's thankful for being given his job again with his mentor. Melissa, her last minute experiment of making her hat that looked so pretty. Doorbell ringing and packages by Susan, and she will not open it. And Ruth will not like to hear Bob by Hanson forever in her head. Most annoying song. And with that, I will hand it over to back to our Toastmaster while you select your best table topic speaker. Mr. Toast.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Table Topics.